Hi, I'm Teddy Burriss, your LinkedIn strategist and trainer. Had a conversation with a group of job seekers this morning, and it was a really interesting conversation about using the jobs feature of LinkedIn. I don't spend a lot of time on the jobs tab right here. I don't spend a lot of time in here, mainly because the majority of the people I train and coach are business developers who have a job. However, because of the conversation and because of what I discovered through the conversation, I thought it made sense for me to share some tactical uses of this area of LinkedIn. So again, from the job tabs, there's a couple things you could do. You could put in here the type of role that you're looking for. However, the conversation we had today indicated leave that blank, and I'll show you why. Go over here and look at city, state, and zip. Now you have a couple options here. You can put in a specific region. You can't put in multiple, but you can put a specific region in here. So I could put Greensboro, Winston-Salem, High Point, which is my primary region. And then it's going to immediately go to list the 21,723 jobs that are in the Greensboro region with no qualification beyond region at all. However, if you want to get a little more purposeful, there's a couple things that you may want to do. So let's talk about that. First of all, you may decide that you don't want to look in Winston, Greensboro, Winston. You want to go to remote. So you could turn on remote. And then when you hit apply there, these are all of the jobs that are out of the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area that are remote opportunities for you to work. So pretty interesting. I did not see that my initial test. I thought I had to choose Greensboro, Winston-Salem, or I had to choose remote. But when you start by choosing a region, then you can look for jobs that are also remote right here, remote on or off. Additionally, because of my style of career search is to find a conversation, something else to consider doing here, and that is to go to LinkedIn features right here and choose in your network. And when you do that, it's going to narrow it down to 5 jobs that are out of the Greensboro, Winston-Salem area that are remote, but for companies where you have connections. All of these you will see are companies where I have a connection. And this makes it easier to get into a conversation with someone about that company or about that industry. And because there is a job listed, and if that job is relevant to you, maybe now, right here under connections, right click, open in a new tab. Now I can see that at Cognizant, I know a Jerry Moran, a Dallas, and I know an Alexandra. So I could get into a conversation with them. I could drill into their profiles, potentially find their phone number, potentially find their email address, potentially send them an email or a LinkedIn message. But I'm not going to simply message them. I'm going to go to their profile and look for the best way to connect with them, have a conversation. And I typically recommend phone or business email or email before I do a LinkedIn message. Now, ideally, if you're looking for remote jobs, where the job is based out of shouldn't be overly important. So what you might want to do, remember I started with Greensboro and I said remote, what you might want to do is get rid of Greensboro, delete that out, and just simply go to remote, search for remote jobs. That's a big list. Now I can create a job alert for this so I get an email on a regular basis from LinkedIn with all these jobs. Now let me show you something else that my good friend Dennis suggested that you do. What Dennis suggested is you go through this whole list. You review this whole list as quickly as you can because it's probably going to be overwhelming and way more than you need. After you go through the list, then you switch date posted. And maybe you do just for the past week. And you go through that list. So you go through just the past week and you look and see what that is. And then you quickly get out of that and then you do this. Past 24 hours and apply that. This is a much smaller list. This is actually what I refer to as a workable list. So now I would create a job alert just for the jobs that are remote in my network for the last 24 hours. Now again, once you turn that alert on, you'll get an email from LinkedIn for all the new jobs that meet that criteria. Don't put a skill criteria. Don't put an industry criteria. You might want to put a job type. It's up to you, full-time, temporary, contract, whatever is appropriate for you. But have this list be a little broad because you're really not looking at the job. You're looking at the company. So you want to look at the company. Example, this job here with Harvard Business Publishing. So if I'm interested in HBP, Harvard Business Publishing, then I should reach out to my connection there and strike up a conversation. Now, the conversation's for a whole nother discussion, but you want to make that the conversation all about that person. You want to ask enough questions. You want to be prepared. You want to know your relationship with that person. How did you meet them? When did you meet them? Learn a little bit more about them by looking at their profile before you make that phone call, before you send that email, before you send that LinkedIn message. And what you want to try to do is pull that person into a conversation. And then you look at the next job and you go, oh my golly, Dell would be a great place to work. Click on this company, this job here, look and see who my connections are there. Pick the one that you have the best relationship with. Call them, email them, or LinkedIn message them and try to pull them into a conversation. Again, make the conversation all about them, and they'll give you permission to make it about you. And what your goal is to learn more about who do they know, what do they know that's going on, and who is someone that they recommend that you get into a conversation with. So if you do this work and you focus on the company and the people in the company, let me say it again, you focus on the company that you're interested in and the people in the company that you know, you're more likely to get into good conversations and you're more likely to uncover opportunities that may not even be listed on this job board, may not be on Indeed, Simply Hired Monster, or LinkedIn. This is what you want to do, and this will give you far greater value. You've got to be willing to get into a friendly conversation with someone you're connected with so you can get permission to ask for guidance, an introduction, or help. I'm Teddy Burriss, your LinkedIn strategist and trainer, and I hope this idea about using the LinkedIn jobs could be beneficial for you and help you uncover that opportunity that you're looking for. And before I go, I just want to remind you that I have this new mastermind group that's in Facebook groups, a Facebook educational group. This mastermind group is all about guiding you, helping you, coaching you, answering questions, a bi-weekly live a Zoom coaching session for all the members on here where we talk about the things that are important related to using LinkedIn in your role or your career. It's a private group. You can find more about it by going to burrissconsulting.com/group. Look at what I share. Look at the idea. If you have any questions, message me and ask me any questions. Because what I want to do is I want to bring you into this group and I want to help you achieve your goals very deliberately using LinkedIn along the way.